Every story you hear leaves a lesson behind. This is Story Times. The power of believing in yourself. There was a time in my life when believing in myself felt like the hardest thing in the world. Not because I was weak, not because I was lazy, but because everywhere I turned, something or someone was quietly telling me I was not enough. This is my story. I wasn't famous. I wasn't rich. I wasn't special by the world's standards. Just an ordinary person with an extraordinary dream hiding deep inside me. I grew up in a place where dreams were spoken softly, almost like secrets. People didn't really talk about what they wanted to become. They talked about what they needed to survive. Food, rent, bills, responsibility. Dreams were seen as distractions. From a young age, I loved learning. I loved asking questions. I loved imagining a bigger future for myself. But every time I spoke about my dreams, I heard the same responses. Be realistic. People like us don't get that far. You should lower your expectations. At first I laughed it off, but words are powerful. And slowly, those words settled into my mind. By the time I got older, doubt had become my closest companion. I doubted my intelligence. I doubted my abilities. I doubted my worth. And the hardest truth of all, I started doubting myself more than anyone else ever could. In school, I wasn't failing, but I wasn't shining either. Not because I lacked ability, but because I lacked belief. I knew the answers, but fear kept my hand down. Opportunities came my way, but I stepped back, convinced I wasn't ready. I watched others move forward while I stayed behind, quietly telling myself, maybe this is all I'm meant for. But deep inside me, something refused to die. A quiet voice, a stubborn spark, a whisper that said, there is more in you. One evening, after a really rough day, I sat alone, scrolling through my phone, feeling defeated. Then I came across a simple quote. The moment you start believing in yourself, the world begins to respond. Normally, I would have ignored it. It sounded like one of those motivational lines people share and forget. But this time, it hit differently. I asked myself a question I had never dared to ask before. What if the only thing holding me back is me? That question changed everything. Not overnight, not magically, but slowly, deeply, powerfully. I decided to try something new. For the first time in my life, I chose to believe in myself. Not that I would succeed immediately. Not that everything would be easy. But that I was capable of trying. The next day, when a question was asked, my heart raced. My palms were sweaty. My voice trembled. But I raised my hand. I spoke. I was right. Nothing dramatic happened. No applause. No celebration. But inside me, something shifted. That moment planted a seed. I realized something important. Confidence is not loud. It starts quietly. I started studying with intention, speaking with courage, applying for opportunities I once felt unworthy of. I failed many times. I was rejected. I was laughed at. I was underestimated. But this time, failure didn't break me. Instead of seeing failure as proof that I wasn't good enough, I saw it as proof that I was trying. And trying is powerful. Believing in yourself doesn't mean you'll never doubt. It means you won't let doubt make your decisions. The same people who once ignored me started paying attention. The same voices that discouraged me grew quieter. Doors began to open. Not because the world changed, but because I did. When you believe in yourself, you walk differently. You speak differently. You show up differently. And people feel it. Eventually, I applied for something people told me I wasn't qualified for. Even as I submitted it, fear whispered, "You don't belong there." But belief spoke louder. Weeks later, I got the message. I was accepted. That moment didn't just change my path. It changed how I saw myself. I succeeded because I finally believed I was capable. And that is the power of believing in yourself. Belief doesn't remove obstacles. It gives you the strength to face them. Belief doesn't guarantee success. It guarantees effort. Belief doesn't mean you're fearless. It means fear no longer controls you. Many people wait for confidence before they act. But here's the truth I learned. Confidence comes after action, not before. If you're waiting to feel ready, you may wait forever. The people you admire, the successful ones, they were once unsure, too. They were once scared. They were once doubted. What separated them wasn't luck or talent. It was belief. Belief that said, "I can learn." Belief that said, "I can grow." Belief that said, "Even if I fail, I will rise again." My background did not define my future. My past mistakes did not cancel my potential. My current situation was not my final destination. And the same is true for you, because the world will test you. People will doubt you. Life will challenge you. And in those moments, belief is the voice that says, "Keep going." This story is my story, but it might also be yours. Maybe you've been playing small because you're afraid of failing. Maybe you've been waiting for permission to chase your dreams. Maybe you've been listening to voices that don't see your value. Let this be your reminder. You don't need approval to believe in yourself. You don't need perfection to begin. You don't need to see the whole path. Just take the next step. Believe in yourself when no one else does, especially when no one else does. Because the moment you truly believe in yourself is the moment your life begins to change.
Thank you for spending this moment with Story Times. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more meaningful stories. Until next time, remember every story teaches a lesson,